Throughout Christ's ministry while on earth, much was recorded about his healing power. He healed those who came to him in great numbers: the blind, mute, lame, demon-possessed, deaf, those with leprosy and other ailments. He even raised the dead to allow them to live again. On a number of occasions, multitudes brought their sick to Jesus for him to heal, and it is written, he healed every one. If the personal ministry of Jesus showed anything about his tender heart, it was that he loved to heal the sick. The 9th chapter of John shares with us that one day Jesus was walking the streets with his disciples. They came upon a man who was blind from birth. As was so common in that day, Jesus stopped and said,
"While I am in the world, I am the light of the world."
He then spat on the ground, made a mixture of earth and his saliva, and rubbed the wet clay on the blind man's eyes. Then the Master said to him,
"Go, wash in the pool of Siloam."
The blind man did as he was told by going to the pool, which was located outside of the city of Jerusalem. When the blind man washed off the mud, he could see. We do not know the age of this person, and we are not told his name, but he was a man of accountability, according to the Scriptures. He earned his living by sitting in the city streets begging. When he returned to the area after being healed of blindness, the neighbors and those who had previously known him were very skeptical, as they were not sure he was the same person. I can imagine he did look and act differently. His walk was probably swifter as he went along the streets. He had to be overjoyed. After all, for the very first time in his life, he had vision. Because of his previous blindness, he would not be able to recognize people or things by sight. His neighbors and other people who had known him had real doubt. They chatted among themselves. Some said he looked like the one who sat and begged. Others said, "It is him." The man himself kept saying to them, "I am he." They all wanted to know, "How did you get your sight?" He said, "Okay, it's like this. You may not believe me, but it is the truth. A man named Jesus made some clay, anointed my eyes, and instructed me to go to the pool of Siloam and wash. I did as he told me, and now I can see." They said to him, "Where is this Jesus?" "I do not know," he replied. They were disturbed with his inability to direct them to Jesus, so the people took the man to the Pharisees, who were the most powerful group of Jewish men in politics and religion in those days. The Pharisees began questioning the once blind beggar. He repeated the story once again, ending with, "Jesus put clay on my eyes. I washed my eyes. Now I can see." These authorities were confused, and one of them said, "This man he calls Jesus who healed him did not come from God. And besides, he healed him on the Sabbath, which is against Jewish laws." Other Pharisees exclaimed, "How could someone who is a sinner like Jesus work such a miracle?" Finally, since this powerful group could not agree among themselves, they asked the man, "What do you say about the one who healed your eyes?" His answer was, "I believe he must be a prophet sent from God." The Jewish leaders would not believe him, so they sent for his parents. They asked them, saying, "Is this your son who you say was born blind? If so, how does he now see?" The man's parents answered, "We are very certain that he is our son, and we know that he was born blind. However, we don't know how he got his sight or who gave it to him. As you can see, he is old enough to speak for himself. Ask him." The man's parents made those statements because they were afraid of the Jews and their leaders, as they had already agreed that if anyone confessed that he was Christ, they would be put out of the synagogue. Therefore, the parents declined to answer. The leaders once again began questioning the man, saying, "We want to know, what did Jesus do to you? How did he open your eyes? I have told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again?" The authorities then said, We want to hear the truth, give God the glory. We know that this man Jesus is a sinner, an evil person. I don't know whether he is good or bad, the man replied, but I know one thing for sure. I once was blind, and now I can see. Tempers flared, and the angered Pharisees threw him out. Jesus heard he had been cast out, so he found him and said to him,
Do you believe in the Son of God?
The man answered, Who is he, sir? Jesus answered,
You have seen him, and he is speaking to you now.
The man replied, Lord, I believe, and he worshiped Jesus. Hearing this brief story while viewing this painting is a real reminder to us all that Jesus is still in the healing business today. He is in the world to give sight to those who are spiritually blind and to show that if we will follow his teachings, our salvation will be strengthened to understand clearly that he truly is the Savior of all the world.